Hi, it's me, Marcus, again, and a week ago I stumbled across a video, and I think it was from Katrodi7, and she was talking about plateauing or making a plateau, and what one can do to overcome that. And she also compared it to going to the gym, and which I thought was great because um, I used to have clients at the gym. I used to be a personal trainer for a few years, and but I mean now I'm not. Now I'm not. Um, but I understand the whole plateauing thing in the gym. I think it's great in terms of languages and learning to make a plateau sometimes. Um, because, well, let's see, I'll have an example here. When if a person learns a language and he or she only learns hello and goodbye, um, then he or she may not think that there is anything else to learn in that language, without knowing that the person has in fact plateaued. So it's really good to realize that there are other words other than hello and goodbye in a language, unless it's a made up language in which hello and goodbye are the only words. Um, but I think there are four things. I have a list here. Four things when you learn a language. There's four things to look at: reading, writing, listening, and speaking. And in each of those four aspects, there are different things one can do to overcome a plateau. In terms of reading, when one begins a language, they learn the alphabet, and then they read little dialogues, and the house was red, the car is blue, etc., etc. Um, and the person improves, and the person reads this book with all these dialogues and text and everything, or teach yourself books or what have you, um, and then the person plateaus, and that's probably because there are so many other things to learn. Thus, I think that one should, if one wants to improve their language based on reading, then a person should make a game out of it. Read. Don't read just books that are like the dialogues that you come across to learn a language, but you can also read different books for yourself. Just reading, I guess. Um, I studied marketing, and I like marketing and psychology and whatnot, and so I read psychology books in different languages. Um, and it's like a win-win. No, two birds with one stone. Um, you inform yourself about psychology in general, and also you can stumble across new vocabulary that you would not have had you stuck to language books. Um, you One should also, like, another thing, you read um, books that are out of your comfort zone. Um, that's what we did as children, but we don't really realize that until later. But reading outside of your comfort zone, you stumble across words, and then you can write them down or memorize them however you would like, and yeah, just make it fun. I read psychology books, for example, or you can get if you like fashion, then get a GQ magazine in French, or in whatever language that you're learning, and make it fun, and yeah. And then another thing you can do for reading is look at the books that you, as a child, have read, and you can read the equivalent of those books in a different language, by ordering them. It's a little expensive, but it's worth it sometimes. Or you can look at Wikipedia and just read about something in a different language, and then, oh, okay, I learned what so and so means, and Spanish or Chinese or what, etc. Another thing is writing. When you're writing to someone, it's not really, you make a lot of mistakes, grammatical mistakes at first. It's really important that you just practice writing, and when you read when you read the words, then you can write them, memorize them, and you know how everything is spelled, how everything is conjugated, and then you just begin to write things. And especially if there are different characters, like in you know Cyrillic or Greek, the Greek alphabet, um, Chinese characters. Japanese has three, kanji. There's two other ones. I'm not really familiar with the language. And there's, Thai has its own characters. So writing is really important, just to get it down, just to practice. Um, let's see what else. Listening is really important to me. When let's see, there's okay, the first thing is podcast. Um, and you can learn through podcasts, language podcasts, but you can also, just download podcasts that have nothing to do with the language itself, just about other things. Um, or you can go on YouTube and just type in some certain subject that you want to know more about in a different language, and then videos come up, and then you learn the language, and yeah, and then you watch it, and you come across new words again, and then you get past this plateau in that aspect, and then you learn, then you keep learning. Let's see. Oh yeah, or actually listening to people. Um, if you're not, you know, if you're not in that country of the language that you want to learn, then it's somewhat hard. But with technology, you can get Skype, or you can talk to people all over the world, and you listen to them, how they speak to you, and then you can, oh, what does that mean? You can always ask, what does that mean? Or even better, in my opinion, if two natives are speaking to each other and you're also in the conversation, then you can just listen to them, and how they speak, and then how their voice, inflects. I think that's the right word, inflects. Um, so you can work on the accent that way, and try to copy it. That's kind of speaking. I'll talk about that soon. And yeah, just listening, and then just asking for an explanation, and so on. Okay, and then speaking. Speaking is obviously important, because if you can write, if you can read, write, and listen, but you can't speak, then I mean, it's not a terrible thing that you can understand and write and read everything, but my goal, at least my goal in learning a language, is to communicate with others, and I love speaking, um, in different languages. As I learn them, it's kind of the reward of learning the language, just speaking about different things, and making new friends. And I'm going off on a tangent, but speaking is very important. Um, at first, you're going to be kind of shaky speaking the language. You're not confident, and just practice makes perfect. And yeah, let's see, something else I could talk about. Those are the four things: reading, writing, listening, and speaking. Um, to overcome your plateau, just the more the merrier. Um, a thing, a game I like to play. Um, this is it's weird. I don't know. I think it's weird sometimes, but sometimes the weird things are what helps you get by eventually. A curiosity game. If you're speaking in your own language, and you say something, and you could say, "Oh, I wonder how to say that in Mandarin," and then you look it up, or you ask someone else, and then you find the word. Now you can use that, and this goes for I mean, anything that you're curious about, your curiosity, um, like verbs, nouns, adjectives, etc. Um, I can go back to that example. The house is red, but what kind of red? Is it a mahogany, or is it a dark red? And then you can just play the game where you just describe. You're more descriptive, and then you learn all these descriptive words and adjectives, adverbs, and the like, and you can write them down, or you can just you know use them. And the more you use them, the more it's ingrained in your head. What else? Or you can stumble across. This is my favorite thing when I stumble across sayings, because sayings are really important in a language. Um, like, cat got your tongue or something. How do you say that in French or Spanish, Italian, etc.? Um, and then it always starts out with one thing, and then it just it just keeps going. So um, you learn so much, you don't even realize it, and then you just, yeah. I mean, those are just different things, I think, that can help you overcome a plateau, or anyone who's watching how overcome a plateau. And yeah, but for me, it's time to work out, because I don't know. I hope I didn't plateau, but I'm gonna try and work out today. Work out my body, and then later when I come back, I'm gonna work out my mind and study some languages. All right, have a nice day, everyone. See ya.